Welcome to the library's Lunch and Learn session on RefWorks, the reference management tool. The Lunch and Learn program is an ongoing series of mini lectures on a variety of research-based topics and databases. Please check the Lunch and Learn page at library.rrc.ca for more information. Let's get started. This session will give you an overview of the many features available in RefWorks. This is a short session, but by the time we're done, you will have a good working knowledge of the software and be able to start using RefWorks for your research. Today's objectives include: what is RefWorks, creating an account, organization and navigation, adding references, editing references, working with PDFs, write and cite, sharing, and quick cite. If you're interested in the PowerPoint guiding this session, it can be downloaded from this address. Please note that it is case sensitive. To get the most from this presentation, please access the speaker notes. The speaker notes are extensive and will contain additional information and links to related documents. They also include short exercises to assist you in learning and practicing your RefWorks skills. At its simplest, RefWorks is a reference management software. What this means is that it will help us manage the references that we're collecting as we do our research. There are of course many ways to do this, including a reference tool within Word, but RefWorks gives us a few advantages. With it, we can collect from a variety of sources including OneSearch, databases, PDFs, and the web. We can store annotatable PDFs with the reference record. We can share references with other users. We can organize with folders, subfolders, and projects. We can use write and cite tools to generate citations and reference lists within our documents. RefWorks is web-based software, which means you can access it from any web-connected device. Before we get any further, let me clarify the language so that we're on the same page. Sometimes these terms are used interchangeably, but for this session, this is what we're talking about. Reference is the complete item information as you see it in the reference or bibliography list at the end of a paper. Citation refers to the inline citation, the notation within the body of the text that refers or points to the full reference at the end of the paper. Citation style refers to an established format of how the reference will be displayed. For example, APA, MLA, or Chicago are examples of a citation style. There are a couple of ways that you can access RefWorks. You can go directly to RefWorks using this URL. You can then bookmark this link on your favorite browser. If you are already signed in to OneSearch, you can access RefWorks from your account dropdown as shown on this slide. And when searching, clicking the RefWorks button on a OneSearch result will open RefWorks. We'll explore this a bit more in a couple slides. Now we can create an account. The process to create a new account is straightforward as shown on this slide, but there are a couple of points worth highlighting. Click Create Account and don't use Login from My Institution. RRC is not on that list. And always use your college email address. It's important that you use your college email and not a personal or Gmail account. This is how RefWorks will determine that you are a subscriber and should have access. Let's look at how RefWorks is organized. There are a number of levels, and I like to compare RefWorks to a filing cabinet. The highest level in the hierarchy is projects. Think of this as the drawers in your filing cabinet. Everyone starts with a project named Untitled Project, and you can create an unlimited number of projects. The next level down is folders. These are the folders that are within your drawer. You can create an unlimited number of folders, and each folder can be sorted into an unlimited number of subfolders. By default, all new references start in the system-created folder called Not In Folder until you move them where you'd like them to be stored. The final level is references, and these are the actual records that you've collected. Let's look at the RefWorks software now. There's two toolbars that are in RefWorks. The top or horizontal bar has functions, including Add, to add a reference to your collection, Assign to Folder, move selected references to folders, Share folders with other users, Create Bibliography accesses quick cite tools, Delete remove selected references to the trash bin, and Tools to access plugins and more features. The side or vertical bar displays all your references in various folders or views, including all references to view all records within the project not sorted by a folder. Last imported will show us the last records that were brought into your project. These will also be viewable from all references and stored in the Not In Folder folder. Sharing access folders that have been shared with you, and My Folders work with the folders that you have created. Tags will give us access to browse the tag collection or search for tags, and Deleted is essentially the trash bin. We can recover things from the trash if necessary. Nothing is gone unless you permanently delete the trash bin. Please note that we will not be using search databases, as we currently do not have databases beyond the defaults loaded here. RefWorks uses folders and subfolders to keep everything organized. The folders that you create are listed under My Folders. Adding folders is as simple as clicking on the Add Folder button and giving it a name. In the screenshot, you can see a number of folders in the My Folders list. Not In Folder is the default folder, and all new references are automatically put into this folder until you're ready to move them to another. Some of the folders have a people icon beside them. These have been shared with other users, and we'll talk a little bit about sharing later on. If we click on the 3 vertical dots beside a folder, we can see folder actions, and these include rename, create subfolders, share, or delete. You can move references into folders in a couple of different ways, and once we've looked at adding references, we'll look at moving references around. So how do we add references in RefWorks? That's what's next. There's lots of different ways to add a reference to your collection. Because we have limited time in this session, we're going to explore the top 2. I encourage you to explore the RefWorks guide for more information on the ways that we can add references. You can also add references directly from many different databases, for example, ScienceDirect. We won't address those here as the list is endless and they all have slightly different protocols. If you're on one of those databases, look for links such as citations or export to point you in the correct direction. One of the most popular ways we can add a reference is through OneSearch. This function allows you to use OneSearch to find your resources, i.e. books or articles, and then easily add them to your RefWorks collection by clicking the RefWorks button. The reference will be imported into the Not In Folder folder, and you will be able to see it in the last imported view. Adding from OneSearch is a great option, but you might already have found the article and downloaded a PDF. When you have the item in hand, you can add it to RefWorks using a couple of methods. You will find that there are a couple of ways of doing many of the tasks within RefWorks. For adding PDFs, my preferred method is to use drag and drop as shown in the example. When a reference is created from a PDF, information is pulled from the PDF to create the reference record. Depending on where the PDF came from, the reference may need some editing once it's been uploaded. The advantage to this method, other than being quick and easy, is that the PDF will be automatically attached to the reference record, and we can do some interesting things with the PDFs, so this is a definite bonus. Now that we have some references in the collection, we can move them into the folders created on an earlier slide. Again, there are a number of ways that we can move folders and move into folders using the Functions toolbar, but my preference again is to drag and drop. Simply pull the reference record to the desired folder and release. You could also use the checkboxes beside the references to select multiple records before proceeding to drag and drop them, and they will stay as a group. Not all references are created equally. Some will be missing information, perhaps important information. Usually this is because of how the source document was formatted, but sometimes it's information that's just not available or is unknown. There are a couple ways we can edit a reference and fix this. The first method is from Normal View. This is the default view and gives us basic information about the reference record, but it isn't formatted to any particular style. From Normal, we can click on a reference anywhere around the text, and a sidebar will appear with all the information known about that reference record. There may be more information here than would normally go into a reference list, including abstracts, URLs, and links to PDFs. By clicking on the Edit icon in the top right-hand corner, we can update this reference. Okay, we're going to look at another method quickly of getting to the Edit screen. Both essentially end in the same place, but this other method has some useful advantages. We're going to change the view from Normal to Citation View. You will notice that when you select this view that a citation style is displayed, and if it's not the correct style, you can click on the cog icon and select or search for a different style. There are many styles and variations. Please refer to the recommended styles on the RefWorks guide or contact the library for assistance. Once you've selected Citation View, you will notice that the references are now formatted in the selected style and that many areas may be highlighted in blue or orange. The citation view will show us up front if our references are missing information. This information may not be available, but if we can fix it, we should. Blue highlighting shows fields that might be missing. Not all references will have editors or additions, but RefWorks thinks that they might. Orange highlighting shows fields that are most likely missing. These will be things like publishers, authors, and so on. Things that are commonly found in a reference. Again, this information might not be available depending on the reference, but you can at least see what's missing. When you click on one of these highlighted fields, the Edit sidebar will open and the cursor will be set to the missing field. This is a much quicker way of editing, especially if you're correcting a number of reference records. Now that we know how to get to the Edit screen, let's take a closer look at some of the functions here. At the top, we can change the document type. For example, we can switch from journal article to book. An interesting feature of the Edit screen is the lightning bolt. You will see this beside title and DOI. By clicking the lightning bolt, RefWorks will check its databases and see if it can find a match to the item and fill in missing information. This is a great shortcut. However, it might overwrite existing content, so do this first before you make changes. You can use this screen to add attachments such as PDFs, and we'll be looking at that a little closer in the next slide. And at the bottom is a drop-down to add additional fields if necessary. Now you can edit at will, add attachments, links, and so on, and when you're done, click Save. One of the great advantages to RefWorks is the ability to attach PDFs to the reference records and then annotate them. We can attach a PDF using the Edit screen by clicking Add an Attachment. In Normal View, you will know if a record has an attachment by the small icon beneath it. When you click on a record to view it in the sidebar, you will see now that it shows a preview of the PDF and will have a Read button on top. When we click on the Read button, we can access the PDF and work with it. We can do a lot with PDFs. When you open a PDF, there will be a horizontal toolbar across the top giving us options to annotate the file. Any changes you make will be saved to the document, and if you choose to share this record, the other users will be able to see your annotations and add their own. This is great for collaboration. Looking at the toolbar, we can see the usual suspects. Zoom, Print PDF, and Download PDF are available, but there's also some specialized ones. Note, when a tool is activated, the icon will be highlighted in blue. Highlight selected text will turn on the highlighter. Click and drag the cursor over the text in order to highlight. Clicking on highlighted text will open a pop-up allowing you to change the highlighter color. Comment on selected text works hand in hand with the highlighter. It allows you to add a comment on a highlighted section of text. You must have at least one word highlighted in order to anchor the comment. Comments can be edited or deleted, and collaborators can add their own comments to an existing conversation. Document notes are different from comments. They're not connected to a particular section of text. Think of this as having a notepad beside you as you review the PDF. Notes are automatically saved and can be added to and deleted easily. Edit Reference opens an editable sidebar that allows you to edit the reference record while the PDF is open. This modified split screen is very useful if you need to update the reference from the content within the PDF. When you've completed your annotations, you can click on the Return To arrow on the far left of the toolbar to return to the collection. Now that we've added references to our collection and we've edited them to make them as complete as possible, we can use them in our documents. The Write and Cite feature is a game changer for anyone who struggles to add citations and reference lists to papers. This plugin is added to Microsoft Word or Google Docs and allows the user to link directly to the RefWorks reference collection when writing their paper. Write and Cite will insert inline citations and then create a reference list based on the citations used. To add the plugin, access tools through the horizontal toolbar and follow the instructions under Cite References in your word processor. For this session, we will be focusing on the Word plugin. If you're interested in using Google Docs, please refer to the RefWorks guide for more information. One of the places people struggle with is inline citation. RefWorks allows us to easily import the citation from the RefWorks collection. The first step is making sure we have the correct styles set. Click the drop-down beside Style to see the recently used styles or select one from the larger list. Remember, there are lots of options, so always check that the correct one is set. You can change and apply new styles at any time by using the Reapply Output Style button. When your style is set, put the cursor where you'd like to insert the citation and click Insert Citation. From here, you can select recently used citations or browse the folders for a new one. You can insert your reference or bibliography list at any time after you've put in your first citation. Place the cursor at the end of your document, and you may want to add a page or line break, and click Bibliography Options to insert the bibliography. As new citations are added to the paper, the bibliography will be updated. One of the benefits of RefWorks is the ability to share projects and folders with others. You cannot share individual references, they do have to be in a folder. Looking at the vertical toolbar, we have two sections where sharing applies. Sharing is where you will see folders that have been shared with you. Somebody else has created them. My folder is where you will see the folders you have created, including the ones you've chosen to share with others. And shared folders are indicated by the people icon. Sharees do not have to have a RefWorks account, though it is recommended if they are RRC people. There are a number of ways to share a folder. My preference is to select the Actions button, the three vertical dots, beside a folder. From here, we can select Share and access the sharing settings pop-up. On the sharing settings screen, we can see a number of options. Settings for indicates the folder that you will be sharing. Public URL will allow you to share your list with a non-RefWorks user. These users will see the reference list in what looks like the RefWorks dashboard, but there will be no options beyond looking. Share With allows you to specify who you want to share using the email address and what they can do. For example, read, write, and annotate. When sharing settings have been applied, click the Save and notification will be sent to the sharee. When a folder has been shared with you, a couple of things will happen. You will receive an email from RefWorks notifying you that a folder has been shared, and you will need to go to your shared folder and accept that folder by clicking the check mark in order to work with the contents. The last feature that we'll be going to explore is QuickCite. QuickCite is a versatile tool that allows you to quickly generate an inline citation, reference, or reference list that can then be copied and pasted into a document such as an email without using Word or plugins. Click Create Bibliography and then QuickCite on the horizontal toolbar to open the QuickCite pop-up. There are three tabs. The first sets the citation style you want to use. The second selects which references you want to access, and you can use insert citations to build an inline citation using multiple references. And the third tab, Bibliography, can be used to generate lists based on the selections made on the previous tab. You can move back and forth between the tabs as necessary. We've reached the end. As part of the library's Lunch and Learn program, a guide has been created to accompany the content covered here today. Please visit the guide for more information on this topic. A direct link will also be added to the Lunch and Learn page on the library's webpage. If you haven't done so already, make sure you check out the PowerPoint for exercises to practice your RefWorks skills. Instructions to access the speaker notes is located at the beginning of this presentation. Do you have more questions? Don't hesitate to contact us. You can contact the facilitator of this presentation by email, or go to the library homepage and click on the Ask Us button to open a chat with the reference desk. Thank you for attending. Please check the webpage for more information about other Lunch and Learn sessions. New web videos will be added weekly, and live presentations will continue in fall 2020. Do you want more RefWorks? If you're interested in more in-depth training provided to you or your group via WebEx, please contact Rosemary at rwoodby@rrc.ca to get more information.